So the downside about going on weekend cruises often is you always have that one sailing where you stay up much later than you want to. So forgive the sleepy eyes, forgive the coffee during this video, but let's chat about what Royal Caribbean did not change in their new Crown and Anchor update system. Hey there everybody, it's Brandon the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend, so I pay very close attention to the Crown and Anchor Society, Royal Caribbean's loyalty program for those folks that go on multiple cruises with them, very similar to an airline status. And so when these changes came out, I posted a video with the high-level changes that happened. So make sure that you are checking that out if you have not. This video is going to go into what they chose not to change. So there'll be a little bit of tweaks in here that they actually did wind up changing, but for the most part, I wanted to chat through what they had the opportunity to change, and they chose not to do that for whatever reason. So the first thing that they chose not to change, and this one I think surprised a lot of people, so most people are going to be really happy they did not change this one, is they did not make an adjustment to the overall program tiers. So there was a lot of people that were talking about maybe they'd officially add in a 340 point night tier, condense some of the other tiers. They didn't actually do any of that, and this was their opportunity to do that. So for everybody that's kind of fearful that the tiers may be changing before they hit their next tier, I don't think that that's going to be happening at this point. So they do stay at 30 points for Platinum, 55 points for Emerald, Diamond is 80 points, Diamond Plus is 175, and Pinnacle Club is 700 points. The second thing that they didn't do, and I found this one really interesting, there's been a lot of talk in the Pinnacle section about our ability to access the suite lounge as a Pinnacle guest not staying in a suite. And so on certain sailings, there's a lot of Pinnacles that are out there, and you can be restricted on accessing the suite lounge. If there were too many Pinnacles on board, they say, you know what, we're not going to let you come into the suite lounge. We're going to give you a Pinnacle Club lounge somewhere else on the ship. Normally, not in the best of locations or not in as good of a location as the actual suite lounge. The Pinnacle Club, interestingly, was on the old sheet. It was listed there in the old benefit sheet. In the new benefit sheet, there is no mention of a Pinnacle lounge whatsoever. So this is an area where they could have built in and hardwired in the restrictions that, hey, if there's too many Pinnacle Club members, the suite lounge, you might have to go somewhere else. They chose not to do that. It doesn't mean that they can't still enforce this, but they did not take this opportunity to put that in as policy, very similar to how they've done for Coastal Kitchen, which in the fine print does have the restrictions that, hey, Pinnacles can only get, once a day. You can have to do that with the maitre d', and we can limit your access based on the numbers. So again, not sure why Royal did not hardwire this into their policy, but I'm going to consider this a good one because I love going to the suite lounge, and again, that Pinnacle Club lounge was never in as good of a location. The third thing that they didn't do was they did not remove the Signature Club pin. Now these Signature Club pins are the little round circular pins that, you may see some people wearing. They did move it from being a Platinum gift to starting at a Emerald and higher gift. So at Emerald, Diamond, Diamond Plus, you're gonna get one of these little pins, if you will, circular pins that you can wear. I was thinking that this one could have easily been on the chopping block because, quite frankly, I don't see many of you all wearing those on the ship. So I see people wearing their Diamond, maybe their Diamond Plus one, but the Emerald one, I don't really see that much. So I know they bumped it up. They're going to save a little bit of money there, but I think they could have taken this one further. And, some people may really look forward to this for their collection at home, but it's not really something that I see people wearing on the ships. The fourth thing that they did not change is they left alone the Milestone Cruises at 700 and every 350 points after 700 Crown and Anchor points. And they also left alone the 150% single supplement for us solo cruisers that are out there that are going on these sailings. So this is, something that I thought could have been on the chopping block. I'm glad to see that it was not, but the cruise lines are in a cost-cutting environment right now. So all of these changes really are trying to drive additional revenue and cut expenses. This is one that really they could have cut a lot of expenses with. The change off there is it's a bit of a double-edged sword because then you don't get all the revenue that people like me spend to get to the stupid amount of Crown and Anchor points to get that free cruise. So that one could have gone either way. There are restrictions, though, to these, and this is where we saw a little bit of change. So they did make it a little bit, even though they left them alone, they did make it a little bit more restrictive. The first thing they did is they changed what the time period was that we could not book these. So before, it was just the month of July and August that we could not do these in the peak seasons. Now those peak seasons of summer have been moved to be July 15th, or June 15th, excuse me, to August 15th. So it's the same amount of time, but they just shifted the dates a little bit. This personally works better for me, as I'd rather go at the end of August than at the end of June. And they also continue to hardwire in all the individual holidays that you cannot book one of these cruises. The most interesting one to me was they did add in you cannot book during Easter or spring break. So I don't know if that's 1 week of the week of truly Easter, or if it is a spring break, because spring break is different depending on where you live in the country. The fifth thing that they did not do is they did not change the wine forward focus of their benefit and amenities list. Now, these items were actually removed from the Crown and Anchor benefits program. So it's interesting that they took out the exclusive gift that you get, and they have moved all that into its own individual document, the amenities list or benefits list. I'm going to link to all these down below if you want to reference them. So they took the language there of how many you got and moved it into this separate document, which I found really interesting. But they kept it very wine forward. Majority of the things listed on here are alcoholic. Things that, you know what, I'm not personally interested in. As a non-alcohol drinker, there's very limited things that I can order from this. And the ones that they did have, they've now reduced some of those. So the beach towel was removed, the terry slippers were removed, and the tote bag you can still get, but you can only get one now per cabin, not two of those. They've got the fruit truffles on here. This is going to be my absolute favorite. They've got cheese and strawberries. But the other like 20-some things that are listed here are all straight up wine. So for wine drinkers, you are in luck. So they are definitely catering to a wine drinking crowd with a lot of the Crown and Anchor benefit changes that we've seen happen. They also did not change their marketing strategy to youth, children, and families. So in the new benefits list, you'll see at the very bottom, one thing that they've added on is a youth benefits section. So they are expecting, and they know the data around this, that there are a lot more kids sailing with Crown and Anchor status these days. And so they are trying to move the program to be a little bit more kid friendly. It's interesting to think of a lot of Diamond and Diamond Plus children and youth being in this program, but they get their status, their parents' status, and a lot of them can honestly just stand on their own as a Diamond member. The first thing that we saw change here was the entertainment tour that we used to have, the backstage behind the scenes tour that was for Diamond members or higher. That has now changed to be a masterclass style family entertainment event. And so I don't really know, to me, that doesn't go together. A family-style masterclass. Like, masterclass is something that is educational. You know, you're learning something really high level. But really what they mean by this is it's a panel discussion with the entertainment tour. They're adding the word family in to give just a shout out that this is something that kids would like to come to. They certainly can, though I don't know how many 5-year-olds are really going to have the patience to sit there and listen to Q&A with the entertainment team. The other thing that they did is they have a Ben & Jerry's discount. I don't know that you kids were already getting this or not, but you're getting 50% off a scoop of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And quite frankly, I'm over here a little jealous now going, wait, they give discounts for Ben & Jerry's? I would love to see that make the list for us adults, because I might wind up buying more Ben & Jerry's. I've never done that on the ship because it's a slippery slope for me, but I would love the discount. The other thing that they didn't change was they did not change the benefit list that you get in the room. What they've done is that they've added all of these things into the actual benefit sheet. So you'll see that there is a ton of new items listed in the benefit sheet. However, they're the same ones that we're already getting. So there really isn't a big change here. You get this sheet in your room when you check in. I would imagine now that they've hardwired all this into the Crown and Anchor benefits, you might not get this sheet in your cabin anymore, because you can just go to the benefit sheet and see everything that you're going to get. If they do that, I imagine not everything from there made it onto that benefit list, but you know, the important ones to me did make it over there. So that might be an upcoming change that they could do, but for now, they have not changed what we're getting once we get on board the ship. So hopefully you all have found this video helpful. I'm sure that there will be more changes coming. There always are, and if there are, I'll be here to let you know what they are. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser. Hoping to see you on a weekend cruise soon.